Good evening, everyone. Welcome to North Beach First Friday and Macchiarini Creative Design. The rain has held off so far. We have a good lineup tonight. Thank you for David Zise for doing the sound for us for all this time. And thank you to the gallery, and thank you to my friend Colin for videotaping this reading series for Alcatraz Radio. So check out all of the North Beach First Fridays on Alcatraz Radio. This month we are celebrating International Workers, and it is also the full moon and Cinco de Mayo. I'm going to start out with a couple of poems that are by other people. The first two I thought were appropriate for May Day, International Workers. The first poem is by Pablo Pasolini. It's called To the Red Flag. For he who only knows your color, red flag, you must really exist so that he can exist. He who is covered with scabs is covered with wounds. The laborer becomes a beggar. The Neapolitan a Calabrese. The Calabrese an African. The illiterate a buffalo or dog. He who hardly knows your color, red flag, won't know you much longer, not even with his senses. You who already boast so many bourgeois working class glories, you become a rag again, and the poorest wave you. And this is a poem by Eugene Ruggles from his book, Roads of Bread, and it's called A Machine Shop Foreman. There are parts of the Detroit River that can wear through the ankles of young men. There were hundreds of machine shops around Detroit the spring I left high school. On the outside, they were naked, dark, and cinder block, no shade. They fed metal parts into the assembly lines and veins of the big three automobile families. When the sunlight ended in piles of rusted scrap on Monday, I opened the steel door, and there he was, a short man, about 5'6" and thick. He extended his arm to me like a bar of iron with a wrist and a hand missing, half a thumb, one forefinger, and the third of another finger. This was the right hand. I put my smaller one into it. The left hand was in a dirty cast holding an oil can. Can you start today? Sure. God damn, my first job. He took me to the center of the shop. A punch press as large as a freight elevator. Tons of steel stood before me, rising and falling in the heat with a crescendo that tested the cinder block. Leaving me half his lunch, he told me what to do and left. All day Detroit exploded before me. After a while it could have been God, humming to me through the short, thick man. Most of the 30 men there were black. He was Polish. I was 18. That Friday, he took me and two black workers to the corner bar and bought beer until midnight. He wouldn't let me cash my first check. He looked 35 and told me he was 26, an ex-Marine and Korean war vet, paying the mortgage on his parents' home in Hamtramck. I told him I was quitting, and he said, I know. You worked your ass off. Hope you have some left. He did a few polkas with the barmaid. We played pool. Have another beer and a shot. You worked your ass off. When I left, he shook my hand for a long time as though he wanted part of it, but he didn't. As I walked from the bar that night, 3 white cops were bending over in an alley playing soccer with a pair of black testicles. In the dark, young black women waited for a John or the cops to come by every night where they could either go downtown or go on the cops in the dark nearest alley. I watched as the cops drove them back from the nearest alley. The women all had brothers and fathers and uncles waiting at home. This was the early 60s. On one side of the Detroit River, Newark was also waiting at home for her daughters, and on the other side of the Detroit River, Watts was waiting for hers. All the while, beneath many other rivers, young black women were waiting to breathe. In the early 60s, Detroit's tallest flames were rising deeper than ever around its machine shops, its ankles, its tons of black steel. Not even his capable hands, the bones of each one, could hold them down. And now, on a lighter note, we will move on to the theme of the full moon. And this is a poem by Song Kijo, Half Moon. The moon, spilling light, knocks on the glass pane. On the 21st day of the lunar calendar, I open the window. The half moon, half round, hangs in the east, weakens. By electric lights ganged below, it moans for its missing half. Next, I'd like to introduce Keith Felton.
Hi. I'm going to take us around the world in 5 poems and 7 minutes. The first one, we're going east to High Desert Mesa outside of Taos, New Mexico, where long ago one evening I saw as the sun was setting some earth ships. I don't know if you know what earth ships are, but they're these fully self-contained, totally off-the-grid dwellings that are kind of built into the earth out in the desert. And there might have been some chemicals involved in this, but to me, at the moment I saw them, they looked like actual seafaring ships that somehow were stranded out on a desert. So that's the origin of this poem, which is called Upon a Painted Ocean. The rising sun paints the aspen-colored ridgeline golden. Waves of saffron salvia undulate the mesa with tabled motion. Black shadows of white clouds are cast like lots on the plateau. A prism wind bends the light from cadmium to malachite. Sepia vortices swirl the brushes of sages across the Seco Sea toward the figurative littoral of a cooler ridge line beyond. Ships with dipping prows plow the earth, their high desert Aquarian crews questing for Morgan's fabled phantom realm. A solitary setting star sets the snow-shrouded cupola of the Sangre de Cristo aflame as it ranges from sanguine to vermilion to burgundy. The once turquoise sky fades to azure, then to cobalt, then to black. Enlightened only by 500 million laughing suns, Lemurians dance in the incandescent night, and befallen stars fall toward the blue lake of the Red Willow people. From Taos, we'll move eastward to New York City. I suspect most of you are aware of the largely apocryphal legend that Dylan Thomas was staying at the Chelsea Hotel in New York and walked from there to the White Horse Tavern, where he, according to the legend, drank 18 straight whiskeys and subsequently died. There's a plaque at the outside of the Chelsea Hotel right by the door that says, Dylan Thomas lived and wrote in the Chelsea Hotel, and from here he sailed out to die. And also, once when I was at the Chelsea, the first 4 letters in the word Chelsea weren't illuminated in the neon sign. So instead of Chelsea Hotel, it read Hotel C, S-E-A. So this is called the Hotel C, or Truth Calls to Age Across the Tired Years. Young and easy, I embarked on a pilgrimage from one shrine to another shrine, following in the footsteps of the poet who sailed out from the Hotel C to die. Gliding under a striped canopy past filigree balconies and beyond a quixotic beat eatery, as if lured by the lurid staccato wail of an ambulance's siren's song. To founder on the whiskeys on the rocks where a pale horse waited. As unseemly as it now seems, in this harborage on Hudson, I harbored the fallacy that the death of a brilliant young poet could be envisioned romantically, when in reality it was a tragedy and my pilgrimage a sacrilege. Half a century later, I repeated that odd odyssey, drifting past filigree balconies and faded memories, believing I was again traveling in the wake of the poet who sailed out from the Hotel C to die. But I've since come to realize that the journey I was retracing was not his, but mine, not from one shrine to another shrine, but from one time to another time. I once sailed a sea of certainty, but have since drifted far from shore. From New York, we're going to move on to Paris. This poem begins with an epigraph from Albert Camus. I rebel, therefore I exist. It's called I'll Always Have Paris. I'm sporting a dashing marionnet and beret and sipping a pastis in a left-bank cafe while savoring Paris in Saint-Germain-des-Prés. I expound on my impression of Impressionism and express my obsession with expressionism with an occasional digression on the Vienna secessionism. I dismiss any criticism of a Sartre-Camus schism as I insist on the meaninglessness of the existence of a rift in existentialism. But perhaps because I'm sitting at a table all alone and debating fervently but with no one, the other cafe patrons who are here for Moet and Pâté seem on edge as they edgily edge their tables away. Still, I repel, therefore I exist, as another item's been checked off my list. From Paris, we'll move on to Beijing. I was there with my then 10-year-old daughter, Miranda, and I'm told there are 13 million bicycles in Beijing. We rented 2 of them and we're riding around the city. We were surrounded by bicycles and the sounds of bicycle bells ringing. And my daughter asked me at one point, is it called Beijing because it sounds like bicycle bells? So that's the origin of this poem, and it's dedicated to my daughter Miranda. It's called Onomatopoeia. Bicycle bells ring, Beijing, Beijing, the tintinnabulation of the capital of a nation, Beijing, Beijing, from Badaling to the tombs of the Ming, Beijing, Beijing, from the park at Taoranting in Yixing, Beijing, Beijing, from Wanfujing in Dongqing, Beijing, Beijing, bicycle bells ring. Finally, we'll return to San Francisco. And this poem is dedicated to Fanny Renoir, and it takes place right down the street at the Café Trieste. Hi, Fanny. In a mural, rural women share stories of their joys and their regrets, while village fishermen tend their dories and mend their nets. Photographic fragments of time from a past past its prime indecorously decorate walls of fame and forgotten names. The avant and the derriere garde, the savant, the scared, and the scarred, sit at rainbow-hued Tavellini, discussing Coppola, Fellini, and Pasolini, invoking Camus, Sartre, or Simone de Beauvoir, or Pierre Auguste, Jean-Claude, or Fanny Renoir. In this literary sanctuary, a countercultural poetry extol righteousness and roguery as they share their prose and poetry, some prosaic, some profane, some profound, on hallowed sacred ground. The blessed and the dispossessed coalesce in the Café Trieste. I think I've used my 7 minutes, but I have 30 seconds more? 30 seconds. Okay. For Workers' Day, I wanted to do one that's called Blue Collar versus Blue Blood. And it goes, when I hear people speaking disparagingly about the working class, I wonder what disturbs them most, working or class.
Thank you, Keith Felton. And next, I'd like to introduce Dorothy Payne.
I'm so cold. I hope I can speak. It's great to be back in San Francisco. I've been away for a while, so this is a coming home reading of sorts for me. Because I missed International Women's Day, and anybody who knows me knows I usually organize big events for International Women's Day. So I will open with a poem specifically for us. He hangs his hat upon my hook and tells his horse to stay. Ritual enough. I lead him down hallways of paper roses and willow trees, requesting only silence for sleeping children along the way. There, like breezes through curtained windows blow, I dance for him Delilah's dance and throw my head away. Clad only in grandmother's homemade lace, I remake history. A buffalo wallow woman reborn, and assume a space he can't replace, for I am the lay of the land. Remembering, he removes buckskins, displays old arrow wounds, hoots and prances and mounts his dreams more than me. Yet hearing his horse paw the dust, I am returned to the wilderness, and he will not conquer this, my last frontier. Stuffing his dreams back in his pants, he prepares to leave me. I resume embroidery. Yet seeing the stream of passion flow from his face, I too dream that someday, like rivers on the legs of lonely women, we will come together eventually. So, like most poets, I travel with poems in my back pocket, written on note paper. Jack taught me that. So this one is really for the children. As far as I'm concerned, after Uvalde, it was over. If we allow that to happen, we allow anything to happen, right? If truth had a tongue, all of your armies, all of your fighters, all of your tanks, all of your soldiers against a boy holding a stone, standing there all alone. In his eyes, I see the sun. In his smile, I see the moon. And I only wonder, who is weak and who is strong, who is right and who is wrong. And I only wish that truth had a tongue. That is an anonymous poem from a child in Gaza. But truth has a tongue. It was David Walker's appeal when he asked, when shall we arise from this death-like apathy? It was Jose Marti's when he declared, everything that divides men is a sin against humanity. It was Toussaint's tongue that defiantly claimed, the gun is liberty. When you no longer have it, you will be returned to slavery. Truth's tongue was Victor Jara's song, was Corky Gonzalez's Joaquin and Che Guevara's love song to revolution. Truth has always had a tongue, a hammer striking the mouth of fascism's lies, like the Molotov in Angela Davis's warning, I am no longer accepting what I can change. Is the weapon on Fidel's virile hip. Truth has a tongue. It speaks like Ho Chi Minh doing dishes in a Harlem kitchen. It is Tanya, Sophie Scholl, and the heroic Trung sisters. It is Assange's standoff with the masters of imperialist deception. It is Mumia, Peltier, and all the incarcerated innocent men and women and those war resistors just hunkered in U.S. prisons. Truth's tongue refuses muteness, no matter the consequence, marks the end of compliance, is the rage in the streets as the hordes of war commit atrocities in our name, is the 72 plus deaths in Tehran's prisons, is those 13 empty chairs in Uvalde's schools without any little brown bodies in them, is a Palestinian child pleading with the world to protect it. And finally, I will not write a poem today. I will not write a poem today. I will not wring my hands in grief, pound my fist on the wall, or call on you all to pray. I will not write a poem today. I will not post my rage on my Facebook page or call on Congress to complain. I will not write an editorial full of facts about the history of lynching. I will not even mention Emmett, Oscar, Sandra, or Breonna, nor weep any more for Uvalde's lost, massacred children, nor will I rage alone at home. I will remember them. I will kneel beside Cap to honor them. I will shout out loud in every crowd, will holler, Earl Grant, during every liberal politician's chant. But wait, we can fix this, right? That's the politician's chant, I'm sorry. Nor will I ask God to forgive or stop this, for this is not God's work. Only evil does this. Only evil does this. No, I will not write a poem or go on a fast. I will no longer answer the call from those with no action plan to stop this. Nor will I let my children, my friends, my neighbors, my co-workers, the grieving mothers, the homeless and alone, the desperate refugees, caged babies, incarcerated innocents, the underfed, unclothed, unhoused, and unemployed feel I do not care about this. I will not turn the other cheek or fail to speak out, call this anything but what it is, a crime. A crime against every black man and woman. A crime against everyone who resembles the guilty. A crime against the children and the children's children. A crime against all humanity. I will not grovel with reason before the indifferent. I will no longer believe that those who are silent are not complicit. I refuse to make peace with this. But I will come with you to start anew. I will stand toe-to-toe here with you, make an army of the deserving ones together with you, just as those before us have done. I will be an ally, forthright and fierce, solid and strong. But I will not just write a poem about this. Thank you.
Once again, Dorothy Payne. So now we will move along to the two musical performances for the end of the evening. Please welcome Kitten on the keys.
Thank you. So some of my songs might be a little bit on the lewd side, so I'm giving you a trigger warning. So some people will be like, yay! So this is a song I wrote about loving to be on all fours and pretending I'm a pony. Who doesn't love it, right? My hoofies go clip clop. You're riding crap, it gets me hot. Strap a saddle on my back and stick a ponytail in my crack. Ouchers. Feed me hay and alfalfa, apples, lumps of sugar too. I'll be your pony girl forever. Oh, never put me in the zoo. What do you say, people at North Beach here? Would you like to take me for a little pony ride? It's awful fun. Nay! Woo! Pony girl in training, a dainty filly, it is true. Rigid mane and silky tail, and I'm smarter than Lassie too. Oh, you could ride me around the den. I'll even take you to the loo. I'll be your pony girl forever. Never turn me into glue. Thank you. That is a song I wrote called Pony Girl. My next song is written by a Bay Area songwriting legend. His name is Scrumbly Caldwin, and he is has been an original Coquette, if you remember the Coquettes. They had the Palace Theater that they performed at in the late 60s. And Scrumbly is still around and doing shows. And here's a song that I sang in the last review that we did. When you're a freak in the sideshow, you seldom think about love. All that you get is attention. You're what children live in fear of. So if you're feeling neglected, There's too much room in your bed. Go see the alligator woman. She'll show you her tail and her horny scales and make you happy that you're not dead. Life is short, life is sweet. No time for sorrow, no time for defeat. It's a game, so don't come unglued. Besides, there is someone who's worse off than you. If you should go to the sideshow, give a salute to the geek and all of the little people, and be polite when they speak. Lobster boy should be respected for finding a reason to live. Half human and half crustacean. It's no easy life, salt water and strife. It'll make you remember what you have to give. Life is short, life is sweet. No time for sorrow, no time for defeat. It's a game, so don't come unglued. Besides, there is someone who's worse off than you. One lucky day at the sideshow, when I was feeling forlorn, was it a vision I saw there? It looked like a unicorn. Do unicorns live on forever? And why do they give us a thrill? If they're only tamed by a virgin, and virgins tell lies, and unicorns are wise, are they all wild and lonely and wandering still? Life is short, life is sweet. No time for sorrow, no time for defeat. It's a game, so don't come unglued. Besides, there is someone who's worse off than you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And now this last song. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I just had to throw that in. Sorry. So this last song is a song about a dog and a guy and a dog, and it was written by a local punk rock polka star from Polkaside. Does anybody here remember Polkaside? Yes, yes. So this is a song written by Polkaside, and it's about a boy and his dog. So wholesome. Oh, I have a little wiener dog, a frisky little chap. Arf, arf. And if you pet and play with him, he'll sit up in your lap. It's funny how a wiener dog can be both short and long. It gets longer as I pat him, as I sing the song. Oh, I love my wiener dog. Yes, I really do. Come play with my wiener dog. He'll sit up and beg for you. Come play with my wiener dog. He's my spunky little friend. If you pet and play with him, he'll love you in the end. Right in the end. Oh, playing with my wiener dog is so much fun to see. Oh, the games a dog can play, you should come and see. Hey, we could both play doctor, and you could be the vet. Hey, doctor, hold my wiener dog, see if his nose is wet. Oh, I love that wiener dog. Yes, I really do. Come play with my wiener dog. He'll sit up and beg for, yes, he really, really begs for, come play with my wiener dog. He's my spunky little friend. If you pet and play with him, he'll love you in thee. Right in thee. And thank you for having me, Jessica.
You are very welcome. That was Kitten on the Keys. And next, and to close out the evening, is my friend Mario Sacasa, who is going to be, he is from Nicaragua, and he actually toured around Nicaragua with the band from here called We Are the Kind when they were in Nicaragua. That's my friend David Zise's band who does the sound for First Friday. So Mario is here this evening, and he's going to play a few traditional Nicaraguan songs for us.
Buenas noches. Good evening. Thank you. That's a traditional song called La Mora Limpia, the clean camp, in a rhythm from Nicaragua called Son Nica. And let me just say, my guitar is a little stunned to be in this cool weather because we're very warm down in Nicaragua. So she's a little bit shy, but filled with gratitude to be here with you. As us musicians, we write lyrics, but we also, our poetry is with our notes, our melodies. Thank you, Jess, for the invitation. In Nicaragua, we have a famous poet called Rubén Darío. In the 1800s, Mark Twain visited Nicaragua. He came to the southern part of Nicaragua, and today there's a bench with a statue of one side is Mark Twain, the other side is Rubén Darío. Two great poets, side by side. To finish the night, I'm going to do an original song of mine called Oye Pinolera, and I'll leave you with one short quote of Rubén Darío used to say, Si la patria es pequeña, uno grande la sueña. So if your nation, if your country is small, you must dream big. Me gusta el sol por las mañanas, más el de Mazachapa, la luna llena de Jugalpa. Amor, cuando me haces falta, dibujo tu nombre en las estrellas y mandándote señas. Hay amor cuando estás cerca. Y oye, pinolera, y oye, mi morena, quiero saber eso, Jess. Dime en qué momento todo mi cariño te debo, mujer. Dime en qué momento. Oye, morena, y voy caminando, con la luna es el sol. Me gusta la lluvia cuando llega sobre la tierra. Se mueve, se baja, se da vuelta. Siempre me encuentra como la noche cuando llega. Y oye, pinolera, y oye, mi morena, quiero saber. Dime en qué momento todo mi cariño te debo, mujer. Dime en qué momento. Oye, morena, mi pinolera. Oye, morena de San Juan, mi pinolera. Thank you. But for me, it would be a true honor. For me, it would be an honor to close the evening accompanying Jess on our poem. Can we do that? For me, please, please. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
If I can find it. Sog. Octopus sog me. Press my face in kiwi. Tentacle carnival rhinoceros fat. Give me, pluck me, suck me out. Sweet pomegranate, wet kumquat, slick cheetah on a stick. Wet coconut flavored jitterbug. Take a little lick. Pink tangerine, my pussy pop. Zebra blue me. me prick your gumdrop. Ah, the astronomic sound. Gastronomy swallowed. Eat me, move me, make me. Wet my mound of grass. Mario Sicasa. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. Walk around and enjoy the rest of North Beach First Friday. There is great music up the street at 101 Music Church Key. The North Beach Ramblers are playing. There's great music at Professor Siegel's Smart Shop. Jerry Ferez and Danica Hill are on guitar and vocals and violin. And there are also some great art shows up the road, so walk around and check things out. And up at Coit Tower at 9 p.m. is the Coit Tower Poetry Club, celebrating the poet Lou Welsh. So have a great night, everyone.